Hey, is this thing on? Hi, it's me, Max. I'm playing Skate. I haven't uploaded a video in so long, and I'm so sorry. This is not a good camera angle at all. I've been trying to work out how to do this because I've discovered that when I play video games, I always like yap to myself about stuff, and I thought maybe it'd be interesting just to like do a video talking about stuff. Because the new Skate game, I found out recently. I'm gonna turn this down a second. Where's my? That's the remote. There we go. The new Skate game has been like demoed or something. It's like there's a version of it out or something to that extent. And people are complaining, and everyone has a right to complain about what games companies do, because they've basically made it like permanently online, which is like such a frustrating thing for a video game to be permanently online, because like it means that you don't, physically own it, and like I get that is something to complain about, but I feel like a lot of the complaints about it are just that it's not Skate 3 again, and it's like the thing is like, do we need Skate 3 again? We have Skate 3. It exists. It's a great game. I have such an attachment to this game. I always love playing it when like, just to chill out. It's such a chilling out game. Like, to me, it's just, I don't know. I'm nostalgic for this game. I remember first playing it at my cousin's house this would have been like, I can't remember when Skate 3 came out, but it would have been like 2011 maybe. I don't know if that's when Skate 3 was even out, but if it was out in 2011, that was probably when I first started playing this game. And I mean, it's so nostalgic for that time when video games were like the thing. I haven't been a video game fan in years. I really have not kept up with video games. Doesn't mean I'm not a loser, but it just means I'm not a loser who keeps up with video games. Not that you are a loser if you do either, I'm not saying that. I was making the point that just because someone's not into video games, it doesn't really mean they're not a loser or anything like that. Like, that's the whole, it's like, I used to be in video games, but I didn't, and now I've got a life. Still don't really have a life, I'm just not into video games anymore. I got into movies and music and reading instead, which is whatever. Sorry if this angle is really strange. But basically, I just think that people struggle, like I struggle with change. Lately I've been going through some changes in my personal life, and it's been making things really, not difficult, but it's making a lot of things more hard. I'm 22 years old, I go 23 in December, and I'm just, it's the change of this summer felt like a distinct change, and like I didn't go out with my friends this summer like I usually do. I went out with some other friends who sometimes invite me out, but my actual friends from high school, I still, I still care about these guys, I still like them, and if, I went out with them once and I enjoyed seeing it, but I don't know, it's just sometimes I'm not in the mood, and just sometimes I think our friendship is still important to me, and it always will be, and I'm always going to love these people and be so happy that, I know them, but like, we're not on the same wavelength anymore. Most of them have jobs. I'm unemployed, but I'm in university. I'm going to my third year, which so much I could rant about university. But anyway, the point is, like, everyone has jobs now. Everyone's getting old. And I know we're not old, but we're not the same we used to be because of our age, I think, and because of getting older. And like, to me, that's just, it's just sad to see. But I get it. It's natural, I'm glad that they're in my life, and I never want them to leave my life necessarily, but I just sort of like, need something new, and I don't know how to find that new thing. It's like I'm not meeting new people, and it's like, I was in like my first sort of real relationship earlier this year. It was still long distance, but like we got to visit, and that was the first time I'd ever like actually been like, felt like I had a girlfriend. I once again I know like I'm not an introvert at all. I'm an extrovert, but I'm not exactly a very attractive guy, and I don't go out much. And in high school, I was always just like the funny guy. Like, I had friends, and I still like pretty much everyone I went to high school with. Like, I don't dislike them. It's always nice whenever I see them in places. But there's a certain element of like, I don't know how to explain it. Oh, one of them literally just came online and wants to play Minecraft because they haven't updated that in years, which I think is quite cute. I don't know. I just think like I'm still friends with these people, but I just want new people, and meeting people is very, very, very difficult. It's so difficult. I live in it's a fairly populated city, but it's also a city with a lot of poverty, and just in general, people don't go out and talk and make friends, and that to me is just really it stifles me as an extrovert living in a small, underfunded city, and that. I think to Americans, I sort of compare where I live to the sort of Midwest of America, if that makes sense. The sort of, I think Indiana seems to be a pretty close comparison from what I've spoken to people about. There's that sort of Midwest where it's a bit rustic. People for some reason are obsessed with like country aesthetics. It's a bit more right-wing leaning, and it's pretty desolate. And it's just a shame because everything must change, but at the same time, it's like, not all change is good change, and I just wish I could meet new people. My university course is so antisocial. Nobody really talks. I had 2 friends there, but I wasn't held back a year, so don't get that impression. But basically, I was like, I can't remember. I don't know how to describe it. I paused my second year basically, so I'm a year behind the people I started with who have already finished. I'm going into my last year now. And I met one person who was a really good friend, but I don't know where that's at. And it's just like, I feel lonely, truthfully told. I feel lonely. I have friends, but most of them are online, and it's just like, it to some extent it is what it is, and everyone goes through the same thing. And when I sit there frustrated that I can't write great music, or nobody wants to read my prose, I just sort of think this is what everyone goes through at this point in time, especially this generation, because this generation is antisocial in general because of like COVID, and I just think like my parents, for example, were already dating when they were 18, I think 19, and they were married when they were like 23, 24. So I'm very different to my parents, but my parents were of that generation when most people did get married young and such. So it's like, I just wish I had more prospects, because I don't, it's like, I want a job, but the job market is so dire that my friends with like genuine qualifications can't even get jobs. And it's just, I wish I could care more about university as well. It's a shame because I really do like the idea of studying but it just feels like the actual class doesn't encourage it, and my tutors are useless unless you're like talking about the very specific thing they care about. They do not want, like, it's so unenjoyable. It's meant to be a creative writing degree and like a literature degree, but basically all the teachers who do creative writing left, so it's predominantly just essay writing at this point, which I don't like doing. And I get it, you've got to do it, but I just, it does not click with me. Essays it just does not click with me. And it's frustrating just feeling different, and like I feel like I'm destined to just be something more, but I just don't know how to do it. I have the drive and I'd love to, but it's easy to be a defeatist, and it's easy to worry about failure, which is, I'm a bit cynical, but I'm not a pessimist. I'm not a person, I'm not resigned, oh, I'm going to be like this and live with my parents and be lonely and whatever. I'm not doing that. That's silly. I think it's, you know, I mean, the time of this year is getting much more to my kind of time, which is nice. So I've started wearing like these like white undershirts underneath my t-shirts, which I think are like kind of like 2000s looking. I've been listening to a lot of Blink-182 recently. Sorry, you can't see my game. Sorry, I'm not very good at the game. That's why I'm kind of hiding it. I've listened to a lot of Blink, and I really want to start a punk band. I've been writing songs, I've been playing guitar more, but once again, antisocial place. Though I have some plans I'm gonna try. I'm gonna, at university, possibly consider like seeing if there's a way to network with people, because there are some things you can put up posters. So there are things that I'm planning to do. I'm not just gonna sit there and, you know, I'm trying my best to do everything. I want to, you know, I'm reaching out for like journalism, for example. Like there's clubs, you know, like societies at my university, and I'd love to like reach out and ask for like an interview piece I could write about them. You know, just ideas. That's basically what I have, and it's just, I don't know. It's hard when you feel useless and you feel stupid and you don't have money and you view yourself as very unattractive, and I have issues with my weight, my eating, and stuff like that, and it's just like, I don't know. My friend Jack's always telling me to eat more, but I always feel like I eat too much anyway. But I don't know, I feel like being bullied for years on the internet, that's what it does to you. Not being bullied, because bullied is like a repeat thing, but you know. People on the internet have called me fat, because I did used to be fat. You can like find probably, maybe the first, probably not the older videos on this channel. I think I'd lost some of the weight by then, but like I used to have a channel where I reviewed books, and like I really was fat. I had a big noticeable double chin, and I'm just like, I really don't want that to be again, because I am naturally skinny. I just had a few years of just eating too much, mainly as a coping mechanism, honestly. But I was also greedy, which I've pretty much now, like, I've tried my best to lose. I'm lifting weights every day, nothing completely super amazing, but I've got muscles growing, which is nice. I've got muscles growing, so I'm not, I don't know, and my voice as well. The things which I've loved about this channel is that I've never had a single comment about my voice being high, because all my entire life I've been bullied for having a strange sounding voice. I've been accused, especially when I was younger, it was very feminine and it's very high pitched, and I get it's high, like, okay, I understand. And I've really been appreciative of the fact that I haven't once on YouTube in the last few years had someone tell me that. And that's just made me feel better. And just in general, my looks, everyone's been really nice. I've had lots of comments on my hair being nice, which is great. And, you know, I had a few comments. I like doing ASMR, but it's also just like easier to do this. Oops, 1 sec.